Morning, I'm Jess. I'm on the way to work. Work is Fossey Taylor. It's a group of companies that makes investing in property easy for clients. Usually because they haven't got the time, skill or inclination to do it themselves, so they get us to do it for them. I've got a question today. It's a good one actually. I think it's going to be very popular, and also got a bit of a giveaway as well. The question is, do you have a simple method of calculating refurbishment costs, or do we rely on quotes from tradesmen? And then also, so there's two questions in one, do we have tips, what tips you have for managing a project? So let's get out of this. Well, firstly, you'll almost certainly have to do a renovation in a property. If you're going to create value like you need to do, it's almost certainly going to be via a renovation. So our model, and the model we know works for hundreds, thousands of other people, is to buy a property under what it's really worth, add some more value by doing a renovation, and then refinance it and rent it out. That's what we do essentially. We do some other things as well. You know, might do the odd HMO, might do the odd flip, but the core of what we do is that. So you're always doing a renovation, number one, so you can't get away from it. It's the bit where you make money. You know, if you were a builder, you might buy a slightly different house, bigger, more expensive one perhaps, do a renovation, sell it, you make profit that way. So as an investor, we're doing pretty much the same thing, but instead of selling it, we're keeping it. We're using the money we'd have made if we'd have sold it as our deposit, so we can keep buying more houses. So it's the point when you make some money, you actually add some value to the property. So it's the point where you can make some money. It's also the point where you can lose a lot of money, either directly in the renovation or at time, you know, throughout the time that you got it under rental. If you do the incorrect renovation and something goes wrong, it can be really costly to fix it when you've got a tenant in situ, especially if they, I'm trying to think, don't do a damp proofing course, the place is damp, tenants in there. It's a lot easier to do a damp injection. You know, £200 or £300 to damp inject a property when it's empty, and you haven't decorated yet, and you've still got to do the plastering. Whereas if you've got to take the plaster off, put the tenant in a hotel, replaster, let it all dry out, well, you know, it could take 2 months, and then the tenant goes back in, it could cost you thousands of pounds. So you know, getting it right is key. So here's my advice then, and I will answer the question directly within these things, because as I've thought about it, there's more than just getting the price right. In fact, actually, there's three things: there's time, cost, and quality. I'll come on to those in a minute, but I'll answer the question in amongst, you know, half a dozen or so other points. So the first bit of advice I'd say is don't rush anything. One of the classic mistakes is to dive headlong in, think you're saving yourself a couple of days, couple of weeks, whatever, by getting yourself in there. But pre-planning is key to this. Making good decisions, not getting pushed into something, making sure all the I's are dotted, the T's are crossed. We're talking about paperwork and contracts and such like. So have your paperwork set ready. I promise you a bit of a giveaway. At the end of this video, there's three bits of paperwork you need essentially, and if you drop us a line at the end of this video, I'll tell you how. I'll send them out to you. We've prepared a sort of a little pack to give away, so I can show you what we're actually talking about. So the first thing is the rate card. Now, when you're looking at a property, you are first of all deciding what you think it's going to be worth when you've done all this work, but then you also, implicit in that calculation is, what work do I need to do? So you need a really quick and easy way to work out roughly to within £500, £1,000, I suppose. We get it to within £250. That's our aim. I'm not saying we always do that, but that is our aim. You need to work out how much it's going to cost. So we have what we call a rate card. You almost certainly can't take your build around with you every single job. If you can, there's a thing. You're probably being a little bit too slow looking at the job, in all honesty. If you're saying, well, do you know what, I can view the house, you know, it's Monday, I can view the house on Thursday because that's when my builder can come with you, I'll have bought it on Tuesday. So, you know, get yourself a bit more organised than that. For the first couple of jobs, when you have got a bit more time perhaps, or maybe it's a house that you don't end up buying, then yes, take your tradesman around there, get a cost of doing the works, but then make a note of what those costs were, agree it with the builder, because then you can go around a job and say, this needs this, we've got an Excel document, we tick it, and at the end of it, it adds up the cost. That's it. Always put a bit of a contingency on there, and you can then offer on that basis. So you agree to buy the property. You file all that paperwork away, don't you? Probably for 2 or 3 months. Then you buy the property and you have to get it back all out again. And this is a point where you really need to plan. And some of this paperwork I can send out to you now. This will help you. You need a contract. You need to write up a schedule of works, and you need to include the schedule of works in a contract. And those are 2 things that I can send out to you and show you how to get. You also need to do a site visit, and you need to do that with and without the builder. So you need to create the schedule of works, you need to do that yourself, and then when you've got the schedule of works, you do a site run through with the builder. So everybody knows exactly what they're doing, and they're signing up to it in black and white with a fixed price and a time to finish. And if you're ballsy enough, if you think you've got the good relationship with the builder, a penalty clause if they're late. That's perhaps not something that everybody can put in, because you might scare some builders off because of that, but certainly get everything in writing and have a contract as well. So what you're looking for is a fixed price for a fixed list of works. Simple as that. Right, I want you to remember these 5 things. 1, never give money up front, ever. Just don't do it. If a builder isn't able to get on with some work for a week without you giving them some money, then they're not solvent, and that's going to cause you problems down the line. If they want some money up front for some materials, maybe say, look, I'll meet you on site on Monday morning and give you the check for the materials if you can show me the receipt. Or maybe, you know what, I'll get you started, I'll order that first set of materials, it'll be here for Monday morning when you're there. Meet them on Monday morning with the key, let them in. I'm not saying you have to be completely distrustful of all of these people, but maybe it's a good way to start off the relationship. Be wary, be reasonably firm, be wary. Don't give the builder the keys before everything's signed. This is what I mean by taking your time and planning things. It's really tempting, you know. You give the builder the keys to go around and quote, they keep them, they say, oh, shall I just start, shall I just get on with it, just done this, just done that. Before you know it, you're into the job, and nobody said how much it's going to cost, how long it's going to take, and at that point the builder might feel like they're in the driving seat. They're not, but if you're not the kind of person that can push back against that, they are. Always do stage payments. So a stage payment is a quality gateway. So in your contract have, you know, there will be 5 stage payments. Once you've done this, this, this and this, you'll get stage payment 1. Once you've done this, this, this and this, you'll have done stage payment 2, this, this and this, and so on and so on. Always, that's point 3. Point 4, always owe your builder money. Don't let them owe you work. So if you kick the builder off site because you weren't happy with something, it's fine, you've got money in hand, you can get another builder in for the same price and tie them in and off they go. You can do that. It's not ideal to have to do it, we have to do it occasionally. But you know, you need to always have that option, otherwise again, they're in the driver's seat. You feel like you need to keep letting them in there to finish off some work, to basically pay you back with work because you've given them money. And the last thing, sorry to go on from that, at the end of the job you should always owe them at least 20%. So always have them owing the money at the end. Once it's all finished, everything 100% done, signed over, you still owe them 20%, pay it over when you're happy. That's the snagging process. Excuse me. Lastly, always pay your builders on time. Really important. You've been reasonably strict with them up to that point. Make sure you pay them. Don't hold anything back. Make sure you've got the money in the account before you set the job going. That's really important. You will earn a lot of trust and respect, and you'll be able to push against that builder reasonably hard if you pay them on time. And I'm not saying if there's something wrong and you're not being forced to pay them, but if you do owe them that bill and you've agreed it, pay it. Lots of builders that we work with are used to getting paid 30, 60 at least, even 90 days in hand from the bigger jobs, and the bigger firms, the bigger not house building firms, but facilities management firms, those kind of things, councils, pay on 90 days. If you can pay them every Friday, and I'm not saying you're not like an employment agency, you don't pay every Friday, you pay every Friday if there's something due. That's worth a load of money to them, and they can reduce your rates because of that. That's quite a good tip. So there's 5 things you need to remember there. On the job itself, there's only 3 things you can manage time, cost and quality. You have got the time and the cost locked down. You've got a contract with a schedule of works, and that tells you how much it's going to cost for a set list of stuff. It'll have an agreed way of dealing with any extras that come up, and you've always got to be wary of those. Push back against those if you think that they're taking the mick. Some builders will take a job on thinking, I'm not going to make much money on that paperwork, but I can get a load on the extras and that'll be my cream, that'll be my profit. So time and cost looked after. Quality is a thing that you can only assess by doing a site visit. Visit every week. Don't pay a bill until you have checked that those stages are done. This is where the tricky bit comes in for a lot of people. A lot of people don't enjoy, or who enjoys it, but a lot of people actively walk away from conflict. And if that's you, I would say there's a high likelihood of you getting ripped off in this process. So if that's you, think twice about whether you want to do this or whether you want to employ a project manager. If you can't, on a site visit, say, I don't like that, redo it. And ultimately be prepared to kick them off site, change the locks, serve them notice, do all these things properly. Don't forget you've got all that in the contract so you can. Then perhaps running a building site isn't for you, because you have to do that relatively often. I'm not talking about chucking off site, but you have to push back relatively often, almost every site visit. We have good builders that we've worked with a long time, but to get the quality, you've got to constantly push them, you know. Good building firm might have 20 guys there. The guy that's done the work might have only started last week. You know, we've been dealing with these guys for 10 years, but that guy only started last week. The building foreman didn't notice this because there's a lot going on. We noticed it. You say it, fix it, or blah blah blah. And you've got to be able to. Obviously, I'm talking about our relationship there. Your relationship with the builder might be slightly more in its infancy, so you know you've got to be on top of absolutely everything. We still have to do this, and what I'm saying is you will probably have to do it more because your builds are brand new to you, perhaps. So visit once a week. Don't be afraid to push back if it comes to it, and if it comes to it, serve them notice, change locks. At the end of the site visit, put a summary in an email to them, including anything that you want changing, but do not use that as the whole bit of information. You must have told them on site as well. Don't just paper tiger, put it in an email and hope that that fixes it. It won't. That'll just cause more confusion. Lastly, be happy with the snagging and the sign off. Don't forget you owe them 20%. You need to be 100% happy with the job. You need to have all the certificates, all the warranties, all the sign-offs, building regulation certificates, fence certificates, building warranty cards for the boiler, and building regulations cards for the boiler, electrical condition reports, whatever it is you've asked for in that schedule of works. You want all the bits of paperwork, benchmark installer card for the boiler, those things. You want them all in a bag, on a handover, a signed snagging sheet, and then, like I say, you pay them. Make sure you do that. That's it, you're done. Perfect job, yeah? Everything was easy, as simple as that. Here's a big tip. All builders can go bad. We've been doing this now for 15 years. We don't have magic unicorn builders. All the things that you hear about builders, stereotypes, could be true of that particular builder you're dealing with. Might not be, you know. I don't want to, yeah. I would never sort of tar all builders with the same brush. That'd be a silly thing to do. But a good builder can go bad. That can happen. You know, been working with a guy for 5 years. He splits up with his wife and becomes an alcoholic. Yeah, that's a story. That can happen. Do you know what? I wasn't paying my tax bill. Oh, damn it! And now they're chasing me for £10,000 in tax, and my van just blew up, so I can't get to work. And I've signed this contract. That happens. You know, good guy. You know, he can tile beautifully, but can't get to work. So all these things can happen. Be prepared for it. Keep on top of it. You must do that, otherwise it will go bad. That's a top tip. So remember, time, cost and quality. You are going to manage those three things by having a good schedule of works, a contract, and you'll probably want a rate card as well, which is something that you'll build up over time, and you'll basically get off and build up by speaking to your builders and entering in what they charge you for various jobs. So those 3 things I'm going to send out to you. If you want those 3 things, it's a bit of marketing here, the guys put me up to this. If you subscribe to the YouTube video and share the link on a social media, I don't know, Facebook, Twitter, whatever you do, write us an email, hello@fosseytaylor.com, hello@fosseytaylor.com. The website email address is on top of the website, and just put in the subject line, give me free renovation stuff, or whatever you like. Put in there a screenshot of the fact that you've shared it on social media, and include in there your YouTube user account, so we can check that you have subscribed. We will send you out our rate card, and I've got some indicative costs in there. They're useful for us. You'll need to alter them for your own guys, but it's a baseline and somewhere you can start, and you can add to. If you do a different type of renovation to us, then you can add different things on there. You can see how it works. I'll send you 2 schedule of works. One's filled in, it's for a real job. It's just a PDF showing you the language we use, and the other one is blank for your own job. So you can fill it in and do what we do. And the other thing is I can't give you a contract, unfortunately. 2 reasons. One, our contract's not going to be particularly useful for you because it's all about how we run our business. And 2, when giving away contracts is a bit of a liability. We have to take the liability that our contract's right. I can't do that because it's not for starters. It's not for you, it's right for us. So I can point you in the direction of getting a contract. Actually, there's 3 or 4 places online. You just buy them. Say just buy them. Take advice from those people that buy them, but to do a search, contract for builders. My top tip for that would be to join the FSB. It's a slightly more expensive. You can get a contract off the internet for sort of 50 quid, maybe less. I think joining the FSB is something like 100, maybe 70, 80, 90 pounds, something like that, different levels of it. I'm talking about the Federation of Small Business here. You can download all of their contracts, and they've definitely got some up there, and also you can call them up and ask for advice on how to fill it in. So it's really, really good. That would be another sort of tip for me. So we can send you those 4 things over to you, but you'd have to sort out your own contract. But I'm saying you must get a contract. So that's it. I guess signing up to the YouTube channel is going to take you 30 seconds. Sending us an email is going to take 30 seconds. So for a minute of your time, we'll send you all the kit to get your first job started. Maybe not your first job, maybe to make your 50th job better, who knows. Feel free to write anything else on the email you sent in, other questions, anything like that. Look forward to seeing you soon at Discovery Day, maybe. I'm at work now, so better get off. Nice to speak to you.